Second game, second game of the day. We've got another two after this one. We've already just witnessed the Warriors go down to Manly in the preseason, but we're back and ready to rock and roll. Hey guys, how you going? So today on BKRsport, we are live. It's the West Tigers. We're playing host to the Sydney Roosters here at McDonald's Jones Stadium in Newcastle. Now, the reason why this is here is because this is actually a double header alongside the next game, which is the Newcastle Knights versus the Canterbury Bulldogs, which is obviously in Newcastle. So there's a double header of games here at the same stadium, which is going to be hopefully great. But this one here, obviously both these teams aren't really playing full strength by any stretch of the imagination. I'd even argue that the Roosters are playing a stronger team than the Tigers, which is weird considering you'd want to see the Tigers play a much stronger team to really get moving into the season, considering the context of their club compared to the Roosters. But, you know, it is what it is, and this is preseason. And I do need to really reiterate to people that if you win the preseason, it doesn't really matter. If you lose the preseason, it doesn't really matter because 5-10 years ago, you couldn't even watch the preseason. It is just about seeing the players get their blood pumping again, getting the stamina back in, getting the feel for week-to-week rugby league again. And you won't see a full-strength real roster until kind of next week. At least with the Bulldogs versus the Knights game, they played a game last week, so they'll both play pretty strengthy rosters at least for the first half. But obviously, the game starts in less than 5 minutes' time, so hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new around here. Live for every single game rugby league this year, every single one of them. And let's get into it. So the Tigers, they play host to the Roosters at McDonald's Jones Stadium in Newcastle. Their team today, fullback is Jack Attard, with the wingers being Luke Lolii and Falatino Tavana. Centres of Hiamasi Makasini, who came onto the scene last year, late on in the year, and Patrick Herbert. He is back in the NRL with the Tigers. You go to the 5'8", Javon Andrews, recently signed from the Gold Coast Titans, and the halfback is Jock Madden, who is the captain. Go to the front row forwards of Kit Lalali'i and Sione Fainu with the number 9, Tristan Hope. The back row is Tony Suka and Phoenix Godney, with the 13 being Christian Tapau Moores. Interchange-wise, Heath Mason. I'm really surprised that he's not the starting fullback and it is Jack Attard, but Heath Mason is the 14. Was originally meant to be the 1, but he's the 14 now. Charlie Murray, Jared Hayward, and Solomone Saukuru with the reserves, who you will see all feature today. Unlimited interchange. You got Max Tautua, Siotami Havea Jr., Lachlan Broadlow, Luke Jack, Iverson Matai, Logan Deninga, Mitch Tautua, Josesi Lanyon, and William Craig. So the Tigers team that you're going to see pretty consistently, or at least you'll see a bit of this year. Like, Makasini probably gets a pretty damn well good shout more often than not. Outside of that, there's really kind of nobody here. You know the name Jock Madden. You may know the name Javon Andrews from the Under-19s Queensland New South Wales game last year. And from his recent signing from the Titans. You'll know the name Patrick Herbert, maybe not for the greatest of reasons, but I do really want to say Paddy Herbert is a really good bloke. He's a really nice guy. And it's just unfortunate that he had that moment against the Roosters for the Titans back in 2021, because outside of that, he actually had a really good season that year, and he actually was a really tough player playing for the Māori All-Stars team, and he was solid, but unfortunately that one moment will just go down in history as one of the worst moments in rugby league history, unfortunately. So that is what he is known for, and hopefully he can kill it for the Tigers and get a spot in the team and really make up and get the Tigers to glory to make up for what unfortunately happened in 2021. You'll know the name Kit Lalali'i. You might also know the name Luke Lalali'i, probably also Kit's name. Sione Fainu, you'll know his name. And Heath Mason. Outside of that, you won't know too many here from the Tigers. So again, don't think that this is a full-strength team by any stretch of the imagination. It's not even close to like a D team. There is just a bunch of young players that Benji is throwing out here to see for the Tigers. Now, for the Roosters, their fullback is Rex Bassingthwaite, with the wingers being Junior Tupou and Tom Rodwell. Centres of Fetalenga Pauga and Tommy Talau, with the 5'8" being Hugo Savala and the halfback Toby Rodwell. Front row forwards are Egan Butcher and Taylor Lasalu. Number 9, Benai Uelu. Back row, Salesi Faketi and Nat Butcher, who is the captain, with the 13 being Siwa Wong. Interchange of Delasal Va'a, Jackson Stewart, Jackson Allen, and Itula Seve. With the reserves, unlimited interchange, Jake Elliott, Lachlan Duna, Zach Safati, Reese Foley, Louis Lee, Kanan Mangeli, Enzo Griffia, Aston Warwick, and Hayden Barton. That Roosters team has been a lot easier to read than other teams so far in this preseason. You're going to know Junior Tupou from his Dolphins days and also Tigers days. Tommy Talau, you obviously know. Hugo Savala needs to have a big game here. He needs to really rock it in his form when he gets an opportunity, because Cherry Evans is now their halfback and Sammy Walker is there. Or Sam Walker is the 7 and Cherry Evans is the 6 kind of deal. Either way, Savala does miss out after being their guy for when Sam Walker was out, and then still being kind of there when he was in the 7. But Savala needs to, every opportunity he gets, just shine, because unfortunately he's fallen back just because of that Cherry Evans signing for the time being. And Cherry Evans is signed this year plus next year, because he's got a player option for next year. So if he wants to play next year, he will play for the Roosters. If he doesn't want to play, he doesn't have to play next year. But it definitely is this year that Ches is there. You've heard the name Toby Rodwell. You'll know Egan Butcher, Yowelu. Maybe Taylor Lasalu, Celestia Faketi, you'll know, Nat Butcher, Siwa Wong. There is a more of an experienced roster here for the Roosters, but I guess that's just showing their depth at the Roosters. They do have a solid amount of depth that you know that this is a Roosters D team in a lot of ways. There's no James Tedesco, there's no Sammy Walker, there's no Angus Crichton, there's no the big guys, but they've still got names of guys that you know, and guys like Tommy Talau and Hugo Savala and Butcher and Faketi and Siwa Wong and whatnot. So I feel like the Roosters should win this. But with that being said, we've seen a couple of teams this week. Actually, the game's just started here. The Tigers will kick off, so hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. But we've seen a few teams this week, and the Dolphins, who played a pretty full-strength roster minus Hamiso and Herbie, they went down 24-12 to the Titans, and we saw the Warriors put a bit of a stronger team out than Manly in the previous game, and they got pretty convincingly beat in that game, where Manly ended up winning 33-18. So just because there's the more experienced players here doesn't necessarily mean that that team is going to win, because the care factor and the motivation is going to maybe not be there in comparison to what you would see. But they really should be arcing up. They really should be firing up here, because they are playing for their careers. At the end of the day, this is just a preseason game to us, and this is a preseason game overall. But these guys are professional players that are playing to be amongst the team sheet on paper for the full 17. And they need to show out. So that's why the Panthers game was so disappointing yesterday, where they lost 66-18 or whatever it was. Tigers get the ball here at the 10. It was so disappointing to see the effort that the Panthers put in, regardless if it's a preseason game or not. But anyway, the game has started. I'm going to have to refresh this score so that you can see the live score below us. Give me 1 second here. So let's do that. Get into the chat. Let us know your thoughts about this game. Let us know your thoughts about the two teams and how they will go in this year. But all right, Mitchell says that pass was equivalent to J.R. Smith dribbling out the clock. Which one? What are we talking? Oh, you're talking. Okay, yeah, you're talking about Paddy Herbert. I get you now. Third tackle for the Tigers, and now we'll bring it to the 35 on fourth tackle now. Brenton says, do members only get access to go watch these games? No, you can go watch this game. No, it's an awful crowd right now, but you can't expect a big crowd to come in for a Tigers versus Roosters game. Let's go have a look at the weather. So it's a beautiful day, but how hot is it as well? So Newcastle, by the way, it's raining and -1 in Newcastle, England. I'm surprised there. Newcastle, Australia weather, 23 degrees. It's actually beautiful. It's actually a beautiful day down in Novocastrian land right now. 23 degrees, starting day. You should be getting out there. Tickets wouldn't have been much at all. I'm actually going to quickly go have a look at Ticketek here. And I don't know if it's Ticketek or Ticketmaster that has Newcastle games. But there's basically nobody in this crowd right now. There's nobody. Knights. Are they Ticketek or are they Ticketmaster? Well, there is Tigers. So Tigers are on Ticketek. Preseason challenge, that's at Leichhardt. No, I have to go to Ticketmaster to go and have a look at this one. So Ticketmaster is obviously... Oh, that's going to be too heavy there. So a 7 tackle set coming up for the Tigers. 7 tackle set. I want to see how much tickets were here. Ooh, Newcastle Knights, because there is nobody there. Great Day should drive up. Yeah, you may as well. You may as well. It's a double header. Double headers. You get a full strength Knights versus a full strength Bulldogs. Oh, you can't even. It doesn't even have the preseason here. I can't even find any. Like you've got the preseason challenge Knights Bulldogs. Okay, here we go. Knights and Bulldogs. So Tigers third tackle. They're at the 45 on the Roosters side of the field. And they'll just go up through the forwards here. 40 metres out now from the line. Yeah, so you can get tickets are still like $40. General admission ticket is $25. It's worth it, but yeah, no one's turned up here for this first game of the doubleheader. So Tigers put that one up in the air, and they'll go to the corner, but it'll be an easy grab there for the number 5 of the Roosters, which is Tom Rodwell. I swear. Oh no, I'm thinking Toby Rodwell. I was going to say, I swear, Rodwell. I swear Rodwell was a half, but that's his brother, I guess. Third tackle for the Roosters, and they're going to be 18 metres out. Yeah, you may as well. I'm just surprised that it's still like $25. Like, surely you should have allowed preseason games to be like $10 entry, because $25 is the same kind of entry that you're seeing for games. It's the same kind of entry that you're seeing for regular season games. Kana Poosas says, well, the Roosters will kick that one down to the 15. And number 15 here for the Tigers, their fullback Jack Attard grabs it and brings out at the 28. Surely the Roosters should get up here with the experience that they've still got in this team, even though it is still their reserve grade squad. Third tackle here for the 45. Get the thumbs up, you bludgers. Yeah, get into it. I don't expect a great deal of people for this game, considering that it is the Tigers and both teams haven't put too much on. Also, it is Valentine's Day today, so a lot of guys won't even be able to watch the rugby league. That's a lost ball there from the Tigers. That's a lost ball, so it'll be Roosters bought the 40. No, I'd expect this one will be one of the ones that suffer out of all the games today in regards to viewership. I feel like it probably will be one of the ones that suffer on the basis that neither team has put out a full strength team. At least the final 2 games of Knights Bulldogs is full strength, and then the final game of Dragons Rabbitohs is the Charity Shield. But with that being said, the Dragons are playing a full strength roster and the Rabbitohs aren't playing anybody. It's actually really disappointing if you think about it from the Rabbitohs perspective, because the Charity Shield has always been like the biggest preseason game where those two teams actually gave a shit about it and they put out their best rosters to try and win a big one over their opposition. It was a rivalry game, Charity Shield, the biggest preseason game. Nowadays, the Rabbitohs don't care. They haven't put anybody out there, really, and the Dragons have got their full-strength team in. Brent says, which team is the least experienced between these two playing? Oh, definitely the Tigers, by a long way. Again, the Roosters reserves third tackle left, the Roosters at the 40 of the Tigers. The Roosters still have Junior Tupou, played games, Tommy Talau, Hugo Savala, Egan Butcher, Benai Uelu, Taylor Lasalu, Celeste Fuketi, Nat Butcher, Siwa Wong. They've still got plenty of guys here who have played plenty of NRL action. Whilst for the Tigers, briefly Makasini, Paddy Herbert years ago, Jock Madden, kind of, sure. Stenifainu, that's about it. You know what I mean? So, no, the Roosters still with their reserve grade squad. 6 again for the Roosters, 15 metres away here from the line. 15 metres away. And Toby Rodwell gives it to Siwa Wong, and Siwa Wong is going to be 5 metres out now. Second tackle. And that's why I think that with the Tigers, I'm really surprised. Good passing. 4 metres away from the line, third tackle. So I feel like the Tigers don't really have the luxury of playing a really young team here for mine. I feel like the lesser teams overall should be playing stronger lineups so that they're well and truly ready by round 1. Like, for example, the Titans got to win over the Dolphins, but you would have liked to have seen a stronger lineup because they do play. Oh, it's a good pass. That is a good pass there for Fetalega Pauga. And it's a try time, 4-0 with a kick to come. 4-0. This is good eyes up football here from Hugo Savala. And like I said, he needs to have a big game to keep himself in the contention for being the next halfback or 5/8 once Ches does go. He just goes into the line. Good cutout pass there to Paiga, and he just gets over the line. What was I saying? Oh, that's right. Yeah, Titans got the win. Like, great. But you would like to see a lot of their main stars. And obviously, Keanu is playing in the Indigenous game, so for the Māori team. But I would have liked as well, being one of those lower ranked teams, especially playing the Sharks away first up. Like, that's a big, hard game. It's a tough game. which she conceded 40-odd, 50-odd points to last year, late on in the year. You would have liked to have been really ready for that one, rather than to kind of bring those youngsters through. But I also get bringing the youngsters through. It's a tough one. But the Tigers, they've got to bye first round. So maybe it doesn't really matter too much to them, because they're still a while away from getting their first game. They play this week and next week, but then they don't play Vegas. They don't play the week after. There's a 3-week gap between their game next week, who is against... So the Tigers next week will play the Panthers on Friday. Panthers, that's going to be a tough one, because the Panthers will play a strong team, especially after the embarrassment that was yesterday where they lost 66-18 to the Cowboys. But then there'll be 3 weeks. Friday the 20th of February is when the Tigers play their game against the Panthers, and then the Tigers' next game won't be until Saturday the 14th of March. Nathan, I'm telling you, if Chooks don't keep Hugo, he'll go south the border. The thing is that they will keep Hugo because he is a local boy. He's from the eastern suburbs. He's always been a Roosters fan. He actually had the opportunity to go to the Gold Coast Titans, I think in 2024. They were trying to sign him, but he said no because he wanted to stay with the Roosters because that is his team. He's a local boy and wants to be the one to guide them to success in the future. Sorry. He wants to be the one to guide them to success in the future. So I feel like it would take a monumental effort. Like the Roosters would have to say to him, you're not going to be our halfback long term, or you're not going to be our 5'8" long term. You need to look elsewhere because we are not going to be using you. That'd be the only way I see Hugo Savala actually go out. I think for the best of his career, there are other teams out there. There are other teams out there that he should be looking at. 10 minutes gone here, guys. 30 minutes to go in the first half. Hit that like button and subscribe. It's 10 minutes gone, 30 minutes to go. You'd be looking at... Actually, who is... The Knights have got a half now. The Titans have got their halves. The Tigers wouldn't actually be a bad shout. Jerome Luai in the 6 and then the 7 going to Hugo Savala. That would be a pretty good shout there, but I just don't know if he would go... At least it would be inner west rather than west or Perth or per se. You know, inner west would be a good shout there for Hugo Savala to still be around the local area. Broncos obviously don't. Now they've got Jonah Pezzett going forward. Dolphins is Katoa, they're fine. Cowboys, big shout there, but the Cowboys is a long way away from home for him. And they obviously want Tom Dearden as the 7 rather than the 6. That ball's going to be a good kick from the Tigers, and the Roosters are going to bring it out of the in goal. And they'll bring it out here to the 10. Australian Health shows as who was the first try. It was Fetalega Pauga for the Roosters who scored the first try, and they missed the kick. And Roosters bring it out here to the 14 on second tackle. Anybody else that I'm missing here? Manly, no. They've got Joe Walsh coming up, and they've already got Jamal Fogarty and Luke Brooks there. Sharks isn't an awful possibility. It's not awful to think about because this is probably the last year we see. If the Sharks don't improve and if they regress, I feel like this would be the last year we see the combination of Nico Hines and Braden Trindle. Surely they move and look for a different direction if they can't go past the prelim, if they can't improve and get to the next point. Tigers drop the ball, but it goes backwards. They'll bring this ball out to the 10 on first tackle. I think the Sharks are not a bad little sneaky if Savala was on the out of the Roosters. The Dragons have got Atkinson now, and they've got Lycan Kintagear and Carl Flanagan as the extra men. Panthers obviously no. Eels aren't a bad thought process to put him into the 6 with Mitchell Moses. And then he could be a long-term 7 once Moses goes one day, but that's ages away. But I guess you could put him into the 6 along Moses. And then you've also clearly got the Perth Bears to think about. But I think that's a bit far. But South after Cody Walker. Well, South now, like I feel like Cody Walker is done as we currently speak, to be completely honest with you. You know, he's definitely not the player that he once was. So, yeah, South is a great shout. They definitely need halves, but that would be something that I just doubt would happen. Roosters are away here at the 40, the 45, the 50, and now he's 40 metres out here from the Tigers line. Is our stream going smoothly right now, guys? Because my stream of the game is having a couple of stops on the old watchnrl.com. Is our stream going smoothly? It's third tackle for the Roosters, 24 metres out. I just can't see, with Savala saying no to the Titans because he wanted to stay with his local club, I don't think that he's going to say yes to the Rabbitohs, which is his biggest rival club. That's a high tackle, and it'll be a penalty to the Roosters at the 15. Penalty. Okay, stream's good. Yeah, because the Watch NRL was just stopping and starting for a second. Souths are a perfect opportunity for Savala, but he's a Roosters fan. He's from Eastern Suburbs. I don't think it happens. Nathan's Dragons, no, because we stuck with the coach's shit, our son. Well, Nathan, the positive is that you have put Atkinson into the 7 later on today. Atkinson is the 7, whilst Kyle Flanagan is the 6. That is a positive sign for the Dragons. Roosters go short very quickly. And Taylor Lasalu held up over the line. Second tackle, 10 metres out. Savala grew up in the eastern suburbs, which has been very loyal to Chooks. That's what I'm saying. So how do you expect, if he said no to the Titans, which was a great opportunity at the time, if he said no to them, why would he go to his biggest rival club that he's obviously hated since he was a young kid? Why would he go to the Rabbitohs? That'd be just wild to mine. Short ball into the line. Nat Butcher. He's 4 metres out from the line. There's no positive with 2 flanos. You know what I'm saying, though. Out the back. Siwa Wong. Has he scored? Has he scored? No, he'll be held up. Referee is right there. He's right there, so he'll get a good read of this. But he's going to actually go to the bunker here. You're right there. Surely you would have seen if he got there or not. Surely. Surely you would have seen if he got there or not. It's a good run there from Siwa Wong. I think he's short. Bro, you're right on the spot, referee. You shouldn't need the bunker for that. You shouldn't need the bunker. Michael says Jaden Campbell has been very loyal to the GC. Yeah, also who's been coming after him, who's been looking to get him. And he is from the Gold Coast, and his dad's got a legendary status on the Gold Coast. He's probably our number 1 player of all time in Presto. And JC, he loves the GC. So, no, they're claiming it, but I don't think he gets there. Supporting the on-field decision of no try here. And it'll be held up, so they'll go back to the 10. Perth throw a massive offer at him for a 5-year deal. Are you sure about that, or are you just listening to what the media is telling you for clicks? Roosters now 15 metres away. That's a knockdown from the Tigers. Will be a knock on. It would have been a try otherwise. But there was maybe an obstruction inside that the Tigers may have actually received if the Roosters scored that. So they might be unlucky here. It was actually really nice from the Tigers winger to stop that try by just putting his hand out. It's Falatino Tovana. He puts his hand out and prevents the try, but there might have been an obstruction on the inside. There might have been. 25 minutes left here. Roosters go on the attack again. What is happening with WatchNRL.com right now? I don't get it. Good to see Holbrook did very good at the Chooks. Yeah, but he was an assistant coach on the attack. That's an easy try. Yeah, it's a try time for the Roosters. They will score in the corner, the Chookies will, and they will lead 8-0 with a kick to come. Try time for Tom Rodwell from the sideline. The kick will be coming. Justin Holbrook was good at the Chooks, but he was an assistant coach and he was just on the attack. The attack is not the issue that we look at in regards to Justin Holbrook. We've never questioned his attack. We questioned his defense, and he wasn't in charge of the defense at the Roosters. So, I'm looking forward to seeing Justin Holbrook, but let's also temper our expectations here and wait to see, because the Knights have also lost their defensive assistant coach to the Titans. So he's gone to the Titans, and that was their prime time at the Knights. They were known for not having good attack, but having really good defense the last few years. Now they might go the opposite direction and not have good defense, but have a really good attack. No, mate. Cowie, unfortunately due to broadcasting restrictions, I cannot show you the live game, but best I can do is commentate it for you and let you know exactly what's going on. And I also know what you said after that. Most tries in Roosters New South Wales Cup. Tom Rodwell did have the most last year. Hugo Savala. Here's the conversion coming up. 2025, he had 21 games, 4 tries, 13 tackle busts. Oh, that was tries here, sorry. He will make the kick, so it will be 10-0 to the Roosters with 23.5 minutes to go at the first half. Oh, breaking news. Knights just arrived. Oh, wait, this is the breaking news, is it? Oh, Fletcher Sharp's a late scratching from tonight. So it's a hamstring twinge for Fletcher Sharp. Oh, true. I didn't realise that Brett White is now at the Newcastle Knights under Holbrook. So Brett White will go there. Brett White's a good bloke. Didn't do anything good for the Titans, though, in regards to our defence. But Brett White now at the Knights, I'm not surprised considering he was under Holbrook at the time when he was here. But Fletcher Sharp is a late scratching for the Knights. So I wonder who will be their fullback because Kalen Ponga's obviously not playing. Fletcher Sharp was meant to be there. Their halves are Sandon Smith in the halfback and Dylan Brown in the 6, so at least we'll get the first showing there for Dillbags. Fletcher not so sharp tonight. Mukassini is playing Cowie, but Taylor May is not playing here. It is a reserves grade. It's a younger team playing. That's going to be a knock-on here from the Roosters. The Tigers are going to get an opportunity on the attack. Down 10-0, the Tigers will get their opportunity. Fletch Hunt will be fullback. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, slight hamstring twinge, apparently, Brenton. That's why Sharp isn't going to be there. How is Ponga doing, by the way, Brenton? What's the word about Ponga this year in Newcastle? Brenton says, we have Danny Badiris in the house. We don't need Brian McDermott anymore. Yeah, you do, Brenton. He's the greatest defensive assistant coach of all time. All time. Tigers, 35 metres away. And it's Paddy Herbert. First time seeing him in dead set, like 4 years. Oh, and then he knocks the ball on. No, then it's a penalty. They've changed the call to a penalty. That is a penalty. Come on, Paddy. I do want to see him succeed, man. I know he really, really took that no pass upon himself, like he did, and he's a good dude. He should have passed it, and it was so selfish. But with that being said, you know, it still did happen, but I just feel so bad for him still. Tigers, they're at the 10, third tackle. Can you get over the line? Put yourself back into the game, down 10-0. 10 metres away, short ball. Can't get the offload away. Good defence on the line. Oh, it's going to be 6 again. Toby Rodwell with the massive tackle there for the Roosters. And now Heath Mason already on the field. First tackle, 10 away. 20 minutes gone here, guys. 20 minutes to go. Hit that like button and subscribe. We'll be live for every rugby league game this year. And that'll be Tigers bringing the ball to the 5 on second tackle. 5 metres away. Surely you score here. You've got a bucket load of opportunities. You've got a full set. Tigers. Mukassini smacked in the tackle, but then Luke Laulii brings it to the 10. Third tackle. Off to Jock Madden. And this is like a nugget kind of front row forward there in Kit Laulii, man. Tigers, oh, they had a 2-on-1 opportunity and he knocks the ball on. 2-on-1, he knocks the ball on, and the Roosters will get away with that one. Now get the ball back. They actually had the 2-on-1. The pass was just a little bit low for Mukassini. Now, Mukassini did have a pretty... Was it the Tigers versus the Titans game that he had a really good one last year? Or was it just beforehand? Hold on 1 second. 2000... Yeah, against the Titans, that's right. And he had a pretty good game. He scored a try in the 13th minute. But his player stats in the game, where is he? Okay, so he scored 1 try. Mukassini, this is one to look out for. He had 166 run meters in 19 runs. That's massive with the 1 line break and the 3 tackle breaks. He also had a tackle made for no miss. So a very, very good game there. He did have 1 handling error. But overall, he is a good prospect coming through at the West Tigers. Even though Daddy Titans showed him how to play, didn't they? Yes, sir. Big win there, 36-28. Francis, I honestly don't know about KP. I think it's just a precaution thing until Vegas. I would have loved to have seen him, mate. I really would have loved to have seen him. I think we do need to see him. It's been a while between drinks seeing him play. Second tackle at 20. If Knights go Brown to the 6 and Smith to the 7, would you have Sharp and Ponga as fullback? Sharp and Ponga as fullback and centre, either way. Yeah, you'll probably see Sharp go into the centre rather than the wing. But yeah, because they've got Brab and Best, so that would mean. Hold on 1 second here. It's really difficult to fit these players into the back line right now. It is. Because Dane Gagai is still the Knights, no? So then that'd be Dane Gagai and Bradman Best centres. Wingers, you'd have Greggy Martiu and Dominic Young. Where does Fletcher Sharp go? Nathan's bloody gotta love the name Jock. I had a petty named Jock Top Bloody Dog. It was Pitbull named Jock. Top bloody dog he was, bless him. That does sound like a very pit bull kind of name. Tigers now at the 25. That's a good name for people, actually, Jock. Yeah, Gag's still there. So what would you have your backline as? Because we're assuming that Kalen Ponga is the fullback. We're assuming that Sandon Smith is the 7 and Dylan Brown is the 6. And then I would assume it'd be Dane Gagai and Bradman Best in the centres. So then you'd have Dom Young and Greg Marcio on the wings. But Marcy's good on the carry backs and the attack, not so much defense. Dominic Young, his career is up in the air right now. But both those guys on paper, you're probably putting in over Fletcher Sharp, but Fletcher Sharp is the better overall player. What would the backline be there? I don't know how to fit Fletcher Sharp into that 1 through 7. Okay, Greg, the leg will get dropped. Yeah, look, I wouldn't be surprised if Marziu is the one to make way, but Dom Young should be the one to make way, really. Tigers still fit tackle. Oh, you're kidding. Roosters are away here. Roosters are away here. Roosters are away here at the 40, the 45, the 50, the 40, the 30, the 20. Taken down. Great chase. And you won't even get to go back and check to see if it was a knock-on from the Roosters at that jump ball now. First tackle. Plenty of Tigers still trying to chase it back. Roosters at the 15. They step out to the left and 6 again. 6 again. Drop Young. Gagai to the wing. That's not a bad shout, but Dane Gagai, was his defense still on point last year at the Knights, Brenton? I think Sharp recently signed an extension, Michael. Can't remember. 6 again for the Roosters, 10 metres away. Hugo Savala gives it off to Fetalega Pauga. Benai Uelu. He goes for a scoot. Try time. Benai Uelu will score the try time. The nice little scoot. And it's 14-0 with the kick to come. Greg is bad onto the high ball. So is Dom Young. Dom Young is bad onto the high ball. His defense is putrid. He is actually quite lazy in a lot of ways. The only reason that Dom Young gets a game for England, and the only reason that Dom Young is actually a highly recognised name, is because he can score tries. He is really tall and he is very fast. But we also saw Loffy absolutely gap him when he played the Roosters the other year. Dom Young's only attribute really is his speed. He doesn't really have another attribute in him. Like, what's the other positive attribute that Dom Young has? What besides Dom Young's speed does he actually bring to the game? Because there's a lot of laziness. He doesn't run the ball back hard. And his defense is just completely wayward. 14-0 the Roosters, 15 minutes to go of the first half. Dom Young's D is bad as well, but had more in attack. Would you say that Dom Young has more in attack than Greg Martiu? I'd say Greggy Martiu. Overall attribute-wise would be having more attack than Dom Young. Speed and a corner dive is all he has, yeah. I would personally I just don't know if they can do it, but I would personally drop Tom Young. 16-0. They get the conversion. It was a great scoot from Benai Uelu for the try. Great little scooty scoot. And there's 14 minutes left here at the first half. I just don't see the purpose to having him out there because, again, Fletcher Sharp needs to be in this team. You can't not have him in the team, and he's too good for a 14. But Fletcher Sharp right now is in a similar position to where AJ is, but it's just like the club is pandering to AJ in a lot of ways and allowing him to be in that spine when he probably shouldn't actually be the 5'8", but he is. Fletcher Sharp and AJ Brimson are in two similar kind of areas. Wouldn't care if either one got dropped. Maybe just pick whatever side Fletch would rather play on. Yeah, fair. Roosters knock it on off the first play, off the kickoff, so the Tigers get another opportunity. Paddy Herbert, 14 metres away. Yeah, it's too big of a name to be dropped, though, and isn't he on big money for a winger? Well, they would have just probably carried over his contract from the Roosters, no? I feel like that contract from the Roosters would have been carried over. Zero tackle for the Tigers, 10 metres away. Jock Madden. And Godinay will be 5 metres out. Godinay, is he like related to Peter Godinay? This is Phoenix Godinay, I think. Is he related to Peter? Peter played a few years back. So Tigers here, 4 metres away. 10 metres out. Pushes off one, pushes off two, pushes off three. Oh, he's half a metre short for tackle. 1 metre out. Cowie, we understand that you have the mental age of a 3-year-old, but can you just keep it together in the chat, please? We don't need to hear you talk about your father like that. So they're going to kick this ball through, and Roosters are going to get out of the end goal, and they're going to be 5 metres out from the line. Brent says, Nate, he didn't get signed for big money. Roosters want him gone for Marky Mark. Yeah, but did they just carry the contract over, or is it... or was it a brand new contract on less money? Peter Godinay might be one of the greatest hookers of all time. Can you find out for me? Can you... thanks for coming out, mate. Can you find out for me, Mitchell, if Peter and Phoenix are related? Fit tackle. So the Cowboys... Not Cowboys, damn. Roosters is at the 35. We'll boot this one down to the 10 on the Tigers side of the field. And Luke Laulali'i brings it out to the 30 on first tackle. Still getting back into the consistency of these streams and doing all the different teams. So sometimes you will have that hiccup where I've called the Roosters the Cowboys just then. But fourth tackle. And the Tigers do kick that really deep, and Bassingthwaite has to go back to his in goal and then take it to the 10. 11 and a half minutes left. I haven't seen anything from the Tigers on attack, but I'm not surprised. Jock Madden is their 7. I'm not exactly a whole deal hyped in Jock Madden when it comes to rugby league. I remember when the Broncos thought he was their answer at one stage. No relation, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to Google it. Is Phoenix Godinay and Peter Godinay related? Based on available information, there is no public confirmation that young West Tigers player Phoenix Godinay is directly related to former NRL player Peter Godinay. They share a surname and connection to rugby league, but no family relationship is established in their professional profile. So basically, Google AI has just told me that it doesn't know jack shit. Oh, knock on from the Tigers. The Roosters are going to score a try. And Palga will get his second try of the day. With 10 minutes to go in the first half here, guys, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you're new around here. The Tigers will knock the ball on, and the Roosters are getting a pretty solid start to their preseason underway, and they lead 20 points to 0. Lagan says Jock Madden clears Cooper Cronk. He probably, what would you say is more of a rugby league name, Jock Madden or Cooper Cronk? I'm thinking Jock Madden's more of a rugby league name, though. Like, if you're just thinking on pure rubber league, I'm thinking Jock Madden is prime time. Jock Madden's like an NFL quarterback name. Cooper Cronk, it's a solid name, but Jock Madden just has that oomph behind it as like a rugby league name. Fetalega Pauga has scored multiple tries here today already. 9.5 minutes left, and don't forget, this is the second game of 4 today. Of 4. Henry Pollock would start this lousy league. Hi, Harrison. You are watching the preseason. This is not the regular season. These guys you're seeing, most of them will not feature for these teams this year. It is preseason. So, I don't know. I don't know if you know this, but you don't know. You don't know Jack Harrison. Chalkman is definitely NFL written all over it. Oh, we might be looking at the bunker here. We are going to the bunker. Kick chase. Maybe he's offside. Yeah, they're all offside there. This is going to be a no try. It's going to be a penalty to the Tigers, the 45, so they won't concede this. 2 of them's offside. Even the preseason, you need a bit more attention to detail here. They're all offside down that left wing. Oh, are they outside 10 metres? Oh, they are within 10 metres. Yep, this is going to be a no try. No try. Micah says, how about Harry Potter for the Waratahs and Wallabies? Defo rugby name. Harry Potter being a rugby name, like it's a great name. And I hope Ginny's going well. Oh, Ginny's probably in the wives section, the wags. But I would say that Harry Potter for mine doesn't really give me off massive rugby union vibes. Like an Angus. Angus gives me rugby union vibes. Big Angus. Now that's rugby union to a T for Australia. I don't know about Harry Potter for rugby, but Harry is a good rugby union name. Angus for mine is the biggest rugby union name ever, and it's funny that Angus Crichton obviously is probably going to head off to rugby union at one stage. Second tackle, and the Tigers will go to the 28 on third tackle now. Hugh's pretty not bad for a rugby name. Do we like AFL around here or nah? Well, I like AFL, Harrison, but you'll get a polarising opinion from rugby league fans. So, in Australia, third tackle Tigers, they're into the 5 for Makasini. Try time for the Tigers. Here, Masi Makasini, he's broken out of the scene in the last game of last season, and he will score to make it 16-4 with the kick to come. So what you'll learn, Harrison, is that rugby league fans and AFL fans don't get along. So AFL is encapsulated of Western Australia, our states. So Western Australia, South Australia, Victoria, and then Tasmania. That's all AFL. And then for rugby league, it's Queensland, New South Wales, and ACT. And then Northern Territory is kind of 50-50 where they get around rugby league and they get around AFL. Now, I like both of these sports, and I always advocate saying, guys, you can watch whatever you want to watch and enjoy whatever you damn well want to watch. There is no rivalry here, but there is a rivalry in this country where AFL fans hate NRL and NRL fans hate AFL, and it's just such a stupid rivalry. But it does exist. If you don't like a sport, you don't have to watch it. If you do like a sport, you can watch it. Both of them at the same time. The issue is that they're both the games are on at the same time. So the AFL season starts up a little bit later, ends a little bit sooner, but they're on at the exact same time. So when there's the Friday night games on for the NRL, the Friday night game is on for the AFL. When the Saturday games are on for the NRL, the Saturday games are on for the AFL. So it's very difficult to watch both of them on a consistent basis, especially for me. I can only watch the rugby league because as a content creator, I stream every single game. But I like both sports. However, a lot of people will argue on both sides against the other one. And then you'll have AFL fans who will say, well, AFL, they get the kick here, so it's 16 points to 6 with 7 minutes 50 to go. You'll get AFL fans who say that AFL is a bigger Australian sport because it's got more states and also because it's got the larger attendance, and they get a shitload more attendance. But AFL is designed for an in-attendance crowd, right? But then the NRL fans will sit back and say, well, we get massive views and much more views in regards to TV numbers, and that's just in Australia, let alone from Samoa, Tonga, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, you now in England, Fiji, some in America. We get more, Rugby League gets more of the viewership overall. So you get the two going back and forth saying what's the most popular, and that is a big argument and whatnot. But when it comes to viewership on TV, Rugby League dwarfs it. When it comes to viewership in attendance, AFL dwarfs it. And so there's never a winner here. That's why I always say, just watch whatever you damn well want to watch. Just enjoy both. Brenton says, Frodo Baggins gives me New Zealand All Blacks vibes. You're unbelievable, mate. Good offload there from the Tigers. It's going to be 4 tackle now at the 50. Good run. Yeah, Giles or Angus is rugby. Angus definitely, though. Giles is a bit askew, but I'll take it. It needs to be like a posh name, because obviously Australia's private school system for rugby union. Yeah, there is an AFL State of Origin today, Slapper. It's Western Australia versus Victoria, I think. It's a sold-out game, but it's not the same. Even AFL fans say it. They've tried to get this AFL going for ages, but this AFL Origin going for ages, but just it's never going to be the same. So third tackle now. Third tackle for the Roosters. It's funny though how the AFL slanders the NRL and the media all the time, and the NRL slanders the AFL all the time, but they copied the Magic Round from Rugby League, and they've desperately tried to copy Origin for years now. So they'll work that ball up, and the Tigers, good take under pressure. That is a great take under pressure there from the fullback from the Tigers, Jack Attard. And now be second tackle for the Tigers at the 15. Are Western Australians considered ghetto? So, Harrison, Western Australia is basically China to us. They live in an entire different country. That's Jay Hayes. He's from Perth in Western Australia. Everyone in Australia is on the East Coast, and then you just got these weirdos out there in Western Australia. A beautiful state out there. There's so much beauty to it. But the banter is always that they're the weirdos out west who aren't even a part of Australia. That's why they're Western Australia. So they're not like Queensland, that's obviously Australia, New South Wales in Australia, but Western Australia, so it's west of Australia, is why it's called that. So first tackle with the Roosters at the 25, and then you got the Tasmanians who are known for having two heads. Second tackle here for Roosters, who look like Team USA from afar. Tigers fan says that Makasini try was literally all I wanted to get out of this game. Just needed him to show me he can bump and get over close to the line. Well, he did. Well, he got a try in his debut game against the Titans in round 27. Yeah, they lost the game, but, he looked pretty decent in that game. Didn't AFL have a State of Origin before the NRL did? I swear I read it somewhere. I don't know about that. Oh, they're away here, the Roosters. They're away, Nat Butcher. Nat Butcher kicks it through, but the Tigers pick up the ball to 5. It'll be first tackle for the Tigers. Surely not, because State of Origin for Rugby League has gone back over 100 years. It's just not been the same process. Like the process we're on now is 1980. Nate says, I was going to move to WA, but then I found out they don't have pokies. Is that true? Do they not have any pokies out there? Well, Western Australia, people make a lot of good money out there with the fly in, fly out. The FIFO, the FIFO. Fit tackle for the Tigers at the 30. 4 minutes to go here the first half. Game's still on. Glenn said, I hope my team Bulldogs wins over the Knights. Well, you hope you win your first half because the second half will still be a bunch of freshies. But the first half you'd like to win because it will be full strength on full strength for the most part. Minus for the Knights, Fletcher Sharp and Kalen Ponga. Perth are a bunch of outsiders. They are a bunch of outsiders, but they're our outsiders. Adelaide's weird. South Australia's weird because it's like they're not in with the East Coast pack, but they're not like full-on outsiders. Oh, knock on there from the Roosters, and the Tigers are going to get an attacking opportunity here just before half-time. Slabber says no pokies on Australian. I'm not going to advocate for pokies. I've never been a big fan of pokies, to be fair, but I'm not going to advocate for it. But it is pretty un-Australian. It is. I've actually never been interested in pokies, It's never been my kind of deal. I've never enjoyed, like, if I'm going to lose money, I want to put it on a horse that I have no idea about and lose money thinking I knew what I was talking about. Like, at least you think you know that you have a clue there. But with pokies, it's just you have no clue. It's just about which pokey is just giving off a vibe. It's just giving off a colour. Giving off a vibe. I've never really been into that. Second tackle at the 15. And Tigers, opportunity. Oh, Jack Attard. He's been okay today, Attard. 8 metres out. Jock Madden into the line. Not a good pass. 4 tackle, 2 metres away from the line. 2 metres away. They're crawling their way there. They're getting there. They're getting near the Tigers. They step. 4 tackle. Taken down 8 metres away. Adelaide does have Travis Head, so we accept them, even though he got out yesterday pretty poorly. Oh, Tigers knock on. They would have been over the line, but Muccassini will knock the ball on. He will knock it on. They would have actually scored and brought the game back within 6/4. So, Harrison, I don't know if you're still watching right now, but are you actually full on getting behind the Rugby League this year? Like, are you getting behind it? Because we've already got Jacko, who purchased the whole full WatchNRL.com, so that he's full on all in, mate. He's all in on it. Get behind your English brother, mate. Your brethren. They used to get on a horse named Waikikamu. Love me some good coin. Oh, to knock off of the Roosters. The Tigers actually get the ball back here. Waikikamu. 3 metres away from the line. First tackle. 1 minute 17 to go the first half. Tigers spread the ball out left. They're finding the best out left today. Second tackle. 4 metres away. And Tigers, Jack Attard, Paddy Herbert. Go, Paddy! 2 metres away from the line. Third tackle. 57 seconds to go the first half. Can't Paddy. Get a try. Brings it out to the 10. No. Offload. Third tackle. Still going. Still going. Still going. Try time for the Tigers. Bing bong. Try time for the Tigers. And it is number 14, Jared Haywood. He gets over under the post, and hang on a moment, the Tigers are back in the game. It's about to be 16-12 any moment now, because the conversion will come from right in front of the sticks. What an offload. Looks like he's absolutely locked up around the 10. Who's that offload come from? The 13. The 13 for the Tigers is Charlie Murray. Charlie Murray with an amazing offload, and Jared Haywood. Jared Haywood picks the ball up and just runs straight over the line. Bing bong. Now we're talking. Everyone says, knowing Harrison, he probably would have bet on Panthers beating the Cowboys yesterday. He would have bet on Panthers 13 plus yesterday, that's for sure, and they lost 66-18. But look at that. He just really gives it his every all and gets over the line right onto the post. And the game's not done with yet. Tigers fans, Jared Haywood is the reason why the Tigers were comfortable in letting De Silva go, by the way. Well, De Silva didn't really do too much for the Eels when he went across. Like, Talon De Silva, I had pretty high hopes in, but he hadn't really cracked on for the Eels. So this is the year we really see it for him, but want to see more. Tigers will get the conversion, and it's 16-12 at halftime. They'll take it. They were down 16-0 at one stage, the Tigers. They were down 16-0. And they've brought it back to 12-16. Let's go have a look at some of these stats here at halftime. Guys, do me a favour, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new around here. Let's go look at the stats. The try scorers for the Roosters, Fetalega, Palga, Tom Rodwell and Benai Uelu. They are 2 from 3 on conversions, with the Tigers being Hiamasi Muccassini and Jared Haywood with the tries. Jock Madden 1 from 1 with conversions. Make that 2 from 2 with the conversions there. Stats-wise, we will just breeze through these stats because, again, you'll probably see two different teams in half-time, so in the second half. So don't focus too heavily on the stats. We'll go more deep into stats on half-time in the regular season. Possession-wise, Roosters favoured with 53% to 47%. Time of possession, a good, healthy amount of ball here being played today. 14 minutes for the Tigers, 14 minutes 49 for the Roosters. That's 28 minutes and 49 seconds. That's a really healthy amount of ball play. Completion rate, 80% minimum, 77% for the Tigers, 14 from 18. 86% for the Roosters, 20 from 23. Tigers just underneath the bare minimum there of 80%. The Roosters, they're above the bare minimum with the 86%, so they're doing solid. Tigers not too far off, but still want to improve it. Runs-wise, 67 for the Tigers, 567 run meters and 177 post-contact, with the Roosters at 85 runs for 833 run meters and 237 post-contact. So they're basically at that 10. Wow, they just updated to 914 off 85. So they're well above the 10 meters an average per run here, the Roosters. Wow, they've actually really done well run meters wise. That is 64 metres above the 10 metres an average per run that they would. Now it's 85 for 851, so it's now come back to a normal run meters. No, now it's 910. Wow, it just keeps updating here on NRL.com. I don't know which one to go with here. 84 for 886 now. What's happening? It goes from 910 to 850 to 880. I don't understand what's happening with NRL.com. Either way, Roosters have a really, really solid amount of run meters to their runs. They're averaging over the 10 meters an average per run category, whilst the Tigers are about 110 or so meters behind the 10 meters an average per run. Roosters, with those extra 16 runs, have also got an extra 70 meters in the post-contact. Now, forget the run meters department for the Roosters. They don't know what's happening here on NRL.com. It's updating like crazy regarding run meters and post-contact. Line breaks is 5 for the Roosters, 3 for the Tigers. So the Roosters have already got a bonus point for the line breaks. Regardless if they win or lose, they've already got that. Tackle breaks is 17-16 to the Roosters. I can't believe I've just seen a comment saying, "Where is Joseph Suaalii?" That is an absolutely insane comment to receive in 2026. Average set distance is 29.65 for the Tigers, so they're in the disgusting category. That is really, really poor. But for the Roosters at 39.24, that is in the hitting the mark category of between 35 and 40. So the Roosters are doing pretty well there. They're so close. They're real upper end, extreme upper end of that hitting the market category. Whilst at least the Tigers now, they've updated. This NRL.com is just updating like wild right now. They've updated to 30.15. So they're at the very low end of underwhelming with 30.62 now. And then we go to play the ball speed. Extremely fast for the Tigers. 3.04, 3.41 at an average speed for the Roosters. Offloads, 4 for the Tigers. They need 6 more for a bonus point. 3 for the Roosters. They need 7 more for the bonus point there. And then effective tackle percentage is 90.65% for the Tigers. Yeah, we're gonna time that one out because obviously they have no clue what they're talking about. So 90.65% for the Tigers. Sorry, 194 tackles made for 17 missed tackles and 3 ineffective. 15 to 17 is the average amount of tackles missed in a half. Usually 17 is on the upper end of that for the Tigers. But the 90.65% there, limited ineffective tackles, is very, very good. That's above the great category at 90.65%. And then you've got the Roosters at 89.1% with the 187 tackles made, 16 missed tackles and 7 ineffective. So the ineffective is usually between the 5 to the 7. They're at 7 on the upper end there in the average. Missed tackles is 16, so they're bang middle of the average of missed tackles of 15 to 17, and they're at 89.05%. So it's just those ineffective tackles that are hurting the Roosters in regards to their effective tackle percentage. And then you go to errors. 3 and under is really good, 4 to 6 is average, and 7 above is really bad. 4 errors for the Tigers, it's in the average category. 3 errors for the Roosters is in the good category. Penalties conceded is 2-1 against the Roosters. Ruck infringements is 3-1 against the Tigers, and inside 10 metres is 1-1. So overall, this is a pretty close game right now. It's now 50% in regards to the possession. The completion rate for the Tigers is actually updated to 85% now for 7 from 20. So both of those teams are at the similar completion rate. Runs-wise, run meters is definitely an advantage of the Roosters on both post-contact and run meters. But so far, Roosters have scored 3 tries. They need 2 more tries for a bonus point. Tigers have scored 2 tries. They need 3 more tries for a bonus point. The line breaks, Roosters already have 1 point in the bag with their 5 line breaks. Tigers need 2 more line breaks for a bonus point there. And then in regards to the offloads, the Tigers are at 4, so they need 6 more offloads for a bonus point, and the Roosters will need 7 more from 3 to get their bonus point. But that is the halftime stats. But just remember, don't take them too in depth for the second half, because you will see a lot of the reserves come on for both these teams. Moses says, go the Roosters, still with you all the way from Papua New Guinea. Get around you in Papua New Guinea. Mitchell says, where can I bet on who will do the stupidest thing in Vegas? My money is on Dylan Brown. Yeah, Dylan Brown's a shout. Dylan Brown's a great shout there. Who's the teams? Cowboys. I can't really see too much there. Knights. Yeah, bit of deal bags is in the name. And then you've got the Dragons and the Bulldogs. Oh, the Dragons are usually quite well known for acting up. You all know about their barbecuing. Maybe the Dragons is a better shout there. Rooster Man says, young blokes going okay with the Chooks. Yeah, it's been okay. Like, the run meters have been really good. The only disappointing thing is that you were up 16-0, and then you've allowed the Tigers young blokes right back into this game at 16-12 with those last few minutes of that first half. But it's just preseason. It's just preseason, man. But no, you'd be feeling okay with it, with how guys like Palga's played. Savala's played well. Bassingthwaite's been okay. Tom Rodwell's been fine. Taylor Lasalo's run the ball hard at the very least. You'd be okay with it. But I do think there's a lot more positives here out of the Tigers. Shaq Attard has been good in the fullback. Luke Lalii has been strong on the wing. Haven't seen much of Javon Andrews. Jock Madden's tried, but not really gotten anything too well going. Paddy Herbert's doing his best. Himasi Makasini, he's scored a try and he's gotten close a couple of times. For the forwards, haven't really seen an unbelievable amount with the forwards, really. Charlie Murray, that was a really good offload for the try, and then Jared Hayward with the really good try off the bench. But I haven't really seen too much from the Tigers forwards overall. But I guess that tells you a story when they are down by as much as they are in the run meter department. Gavin will do something stupid. Surely not. Like, he does something stupid and gives the reason to... Could you imagine the blow up in the media if Galvin did something stupid? Surely not. Surely he wouldn't be that stupid. Surely he wouldn't be stupid enough to do something stupid. De Silva's most memorable game was getting belted by Moses. Yeah, I think everyone remembers the De Silva game. Everyone remembers the De Silva game from Moses. He got absolutely lit up by Mitchell. He got lit up by him, man. And look, deservedly so. Like, it was absolutely valid in regards to, the reasoning behind it. But everyone remembers it because they saw how passionate and how much conviction Mitchell Moses had behind what he was screaming down his throat. Who's this legend on the TV screen? Who are you talking about? Right now on the screen I can see Robert Irwin. Who are you talking about? Red Knight says, what is Talau's chances of try today? I always find this question really weird from people, because it's like, how am I meant to know? Like, he's on the team. I'd say not much, because he probably won't play the whole game. But, like, one, it's preseason, but also two, even if it's regular season, how am I meant to know a player's chances of scoring a try today? Like, I don't know what you want me to say. Like, sure, can he score today? Yeah, but surely you could say Tony Suka could score, Christian Talbot-Moores could score, Tristan Hope could score, Kit Laloliti could score, Taylor Lasalu could score. It's probably not going to happen, but also it could happen. I don't know what people actually want me to say when they ask me, like, the likelihood of a player to score is. I don't know. He'll be subbed soon. Well, yeah, it's just like, but what do you want me to say? Like, you wanted me to say, oh, yes, 100% he's going to score. I say, well, I've got just about as much of an idea of a player scoring as you do. Especially halfway into the game. We both watched the same game here. But also, yeah, like, you could absolutely be subbed soon, and probably does get subbed soon, because this is a preseason game. Because it is a preseason game. But don't forget, right after this, we'll have Knights versus the Bulldogs in at least 2 healthy rosters. And then the Charity Shield game will be live for the Dragons vs Rabbitohs, and then we'll have a 2-hour break until we're live for New Zealand vs South Africa, and then I will get a good sleep tonight. Well, that comp was about 5 minutes ago, so it was the man of the hour, Dylan Moneybags Brown. Get around Dylan Brown. He has to turn them up. He has to really turn them up this year. I'm just glad that he's playing the 6 and not playing the 7. I'm super glad that Justin Holbrook has at least seen that aspect. Oh, Fox Theatre 2025 Grand Final. They're showing the replay of the Grand Final on Friday, apparently. Oh, Jay's woken up. Where were you? If I missed an entire game, we've already lived the entire plot line, mate. We've already had the entire plot happen while you've been asleep, mate. We already had the first game, which was the Warriors getting beaten by the men of Manly. And now we've got this game where the Roosters are up 16-12 at half time. Still 2.5 games to go at the NRL, though, and then another cricket game. But the Roosters are walking out onto the field for the second half. Who does everyone think wins? Do you think the Roosters hold them? Do you think the Roosters hold out for the win? Or do you think the Tigers will use that last little 10-minute flurry to get over the line? Yeah, Wales got done. They got done, mate. They got done. No, I'm going to have a spectacular sleep tonight. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. It might be the greatest sleep of all time. And then tomorrow... Actually, I think we have an early-ish start again tomorrow. But tomorrow we've got the first game that we'll stream, which is the Māori vs Indigenous All-Stars. Hold on. Which is 11:45 a.m. So we'll start at 11:15. Well, we might start at 11:15 a.m. my time, which will be 12, 1, 2, 3:15 p.m. New South Wales time, 2:15 Queensland time, and 4:15 New Zealand time. Actually, no, it'll be 5:15 New Zealand time. Is when we'll start live streaming. Jacka says, so this is the team with a hill at their stadium that I asked if they were any good. No, so this, the Newcastle Knights, this isn't a home game for either of these two teams, man. The game next after this is the Knights versus the Bulldogs. This isn't the team you were talking about, though. You're referring to the Tigers, who do have a hill at Leichhardt, yes, but that's not this stadium here. There is actually two hills on either side of the stadium, which is why my brain's got confused right now, for Newcastle, but they're not playing here, so you can understand my confusion. Yes, the West Tigers right here, they're the one that do have a hill at Leichhardt Oval. But again, so does the Dragons at Wollongong and the Newcastle Knights here at McDonald's Jones Stadium. Alex Gillette says, how the Tigers playing? Well, second half just started here, guys. So hit that like button and subscribe. But the Tigers have been okay, Alex. Again, this is just completely youthful, inexperienced teams being thrown out there. We've seen a pretty good positive performance, I guess, from Hiamasi Makasini. He's been quite solid there. He scored a try as well. And Jared Hayward scored a really nice try off the back of a fantastic offload from Charlie Murray. So that I haven't seen an incredible or immense amount about these halves and Javon Andrews and Jock Madden. But realistically, they were down 16-0 in the first 30 minutes before they scored two late tries there in the first half. But they're on the attack now. Tigers are second tackle, 25 metres away from the line. And they give their team a standing ovation at halftime. Yes, the Tigers are well known for last year, Jacko. Last year they were leading. They won 3 wooden spoons in a row in 2022, 2023, and 2024. And then in 2025, they played their first game of the season against the Newcastle Knights, who ended up winning the wooden spoon last year, mind you. 4 tackle. Again, wooden spoon means last place. Tigers, 10 minutes out. Try time for the Tigers, and it's going to be a tie game, 16-16. And it's a Makasini, Hiamasi Makasini. Hiamasi Makasini with the try time at 16-16. With a kick to come to try and get the Tigers in the lead. Anyway, so the Tigers, after 3 wooden spoons in a row, played the Newcastle Knights, who were hot tips to be down there in last place. But they were up 10-0 at half time, and they gave their team a standing ovation at home. I think it was at Campbelltown. Their fans gave their team a standing ovation at halftime, leading 10-0. They lost that game 12-10. They lost that game 12-10. which is brutal considering where the Knights finished up last year. Mitchell says, look at Javon Andrews, man. Yeah, great Gold Coast Titans, man. Will always be known for his Gold Coast Titans days, Mitchell. The Tigers will score and a chance to take the lead. Well, they were down 16-0. They were down 16-0. 2 tries for Muckassini today, 5 tackle busts. Tigers fan, you'd imagine they'll pull this back. It's a preseason game. Anyone can win any preseason game. But the Roosters, they had a much more experienced team in that first half than the Tigers did. Not that any of them are real first-grade starters, but they had a lot more experience in the likes of your Butcher brothers, in the likes of Tupou and Talau and Savala and whatnot. But Tigers have been able to stay in the game. Oh, you mean pull this back in regards to the no try? No, I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was an obstruction. It was just bad defense from the Roosters. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the game in general. Jock Madden, can he get the conversion from the sideline? 37 minutes to go the game. He will not get the conversion from the sideline, so it will stay as a tie game, 16-16. At least we've got a close game here. At least we've got a pulsating, blood-pumping, exhilarating close game here between 2 heavyweights of the competition. Pulsating. Yeah, 2 weeks away until Vegas. 2 weeks away. The regular season starts in Las Vegas. Kevin Dewey at 7 this year. Dewey's kind of like, he has good moments, but also I don't know if I'd ever say I'm keen to see Dewey at 7. Like, Dewey is a decent player and definitely is quite enigmatic. Like, he can be very good, but also injuries do hurt him. Touch wood, that doesn't happen. I always want to see the players on the field at all times, the best players. But I would never say I'm keen to see Dewey of all players at the Tigers go forward. I'm interested to see how he goes, but keen is an interesting word for it. Tigers will get this ball to the 35. Again, there's no shade at him. I like him, but you know what I'm talking about. How was the last game? I missed it. Got done over by Manly, and they had a much stronger team, the Warriors. They lost 33-18. Manly took a field goal through Joey Walsh. Joey Walsh looked really good in that game. Still backing Joey Walsh to actually start in either the 7 or the 6 at some point this year. Third tackle now for the Roosters. They'll be at the 35 on their own side of the field. Benny West is, in my opinion, the West Magpies are non-existent in the merger. Bring back Lincoln Oval. Bring back Lincoln Oval. Why do you say that West Magpies are non-existent in the merger? Like, they're still playing games at Campbelltown, which is the west side of it all. Fifth tackle here for the Roosters. They're going to be 38 metres away from the line. Brent, sorry, mate. I really want to focus on this great game, but is Cody Hopwood playing today? I'm not too sure. I'll have to go and have a look at the team list in a moment. I guess I can go and get away. This is a tight game here, Branson. Stop being disrespectful to two absolute heavyweights here. Cody Hopwood is hold on. I can't see Cody Hopwood's name here. I can't see it. No, unless he's in the 25 and 26 that hasn't updated on NRL.com, Cody Hopwood is not playing. Not that I can see anyway, unless my brain's just not braining, and which could be entirely possible. So the Roosters will get the ball at the 15, and they'll bring it back here to the 30 on first tackle. Good tough curry back. Can't Tupou get over the stripe, your dog? Is Junior Tupou still on the field? Tupou was looking decent at the Tigers and then bought too much of his own hot sauce. That's going to be a penalty. He bought too much of his own hot sauce and then went to the Dolphins and just didn't do jack shit at the Dolphins, and then is now at the Roosters and it just isn't doing anything here at the Roosters. Tupou's a massive what-if player because he looked good at the Tigers. Muckassini and the Tigers are going to challenge this. Lincoln Oval is the home of Jason David. No, I always will appreciate when I put my bag in the lockers of Lincoln Oval for the first charity match. I put it in Tommy Rodonica's locker. So the tackle's completed. What does Makasini do with his arm here, though? That's a hard call, man. And it's not a traditional strip, but the tackle was completed and he's still holding on to him here and then comes down, but the ball kind of... It's going to be interesting what Casey Badger calls here. No second reaction. They're going to say no, it's a successful challenge. Just tries to pull his arm out. It's a weird one. I could have seen either option there, but they will say successful challenge. Tigers been good with the challenges. And they're going to be in good position here. West Magpies, the majority shareholders. I feel like Benny's just a West hater. I feel like he might be just a West hater here, Benny. You got Rodwell and Tupou for 2. You need Tupou to score 2 tries. You off your rocker? Tigers now, they'll be 20 metres away from the line. Let's just see if he's even on the field at the moment. Tigers 20 metres out. Can they put something over to take the lead for the first time in this game? Heath Mason, little nugget, brings it to the 10. Third tackle. Jared Hayward, he goes back out to the right to Jock Madden. And not much going on here at the moment for the Tigers. Nothing really exciting. They get out to Jock Madden. Madden then all the way out the back. Javon Andrews. He'll give it across to Makasini. Try time. Makasini's been good today. That's 3 tries for Makasini. And Javon Andrews with a nice pass assist there. The man known for his fabulous Gold Coast Titans days. He'll get a couple of try assists, and Makasini takes the lead for the Tigers with a hat trick for him. A hat trick for Makasini. Metal says I'm saying enough Roosters for the spoon. Look, the latte sippers aren't sipping too many lattes right now. Don't know if they can afford an almond milk latte with a caramel twist. Don't know if they can do it. I do not know if the Roosters fans are going to be able to afford an almond latte with a caramel twist as we currently speak with the way the Tigers have come back in this game. They were down 16-0. It is now 20-16 to the old Tigres. 20-16. That calls for a Ty Herbal inhaler. Good put down too. Like you want to say the player put it down with 2 hands, but he had strong left hand to force that one down over the line. KPP said in preseason also to keep an eye out for the up-and-coming Francis Manu Lelua. Is he here today? Francis Manu Lelua. Francis Manu Lelua. Are you talking about at the Tigers? Or are you talking about at the Knights? Are you talking about Tigers or are you talking about Knights, bro? Because obviously he was at the Knights. I know you're a Knights fan, but also he's at the Tigers now. Is this another reason why the Titans are winning the comp? Andrew, this might be another reason why the Titans are winning the comp. This may be another reason why the Titans are winning the comp. You are spot on there. So, conversion by the Tigers, and it will be 22-16 with 31.5 minutes to go of the game. Legit question, why is Madden kicking goals over Andrews? Well, he's getting a conversion, so are you really complaining here? But anyway, says Cumberland throw was named after Cumberland Oval. See Ray Price. That's great, Benny. Not too sure what your comment, what the context is here, though. Not too sure why we're talking about Cumberland or West being a non-existent part of the merger when they have more percentage and stake in the merger. And I'm a bit confused right now, Benny West. I think I'm a bit confused here. He's 22 for Nui. Well, there you go. Second tackle. 30 minutes to go here at the game. Hit that like button, guys. Subscribe if you're new around here. We've still got 2 games after this. Bulldogs versus Knights and Dragons versus Rabbitohs. Followed by New Zealand versus South Africa in the T20 World Cup later on today. That's a big game. It's a massive game. Thank God I didn't stream the damn well Australia-Zimbabwe game. I lost my mind. Australia says I was waiting for it. Titans. Mate, Titans might be the greatest team of all time. You're just a hater alert. Yeah, just a hater alert. You really think the Titans aren't going to win the comp this year? You're silly. You're just silly, Australia. You're just silly. Andrew is a Parramatta fan. He even sees the danger of what the Titans have to offer. And it says, Brenton, what do you want to see from Dylan Brown today? He wants to see Dylan Brown maybe win today, maybe play well today. And I'd say probably win and play well today would be his peak what he wants to see. But that's going to be a penalty to the Roosters at the halfway point. Well, they need something to go their way. Not to get injured is something that I did forget about there, Brenton. That's a good shout too. So maybe win today, play well today, not get injured. Maybe just win, play well, and not get injured. I think that's a pretty good trifecta of things to happen today. Andrew? JJJ says, what do we think about the Tigers this year? This game isn't going to tell us shit, but it's hard, man, because last year the Tigers had the least amount of injuries collectively across their club amongst all teams by a lot too. On the next worst, they actually finished in equal fourth last with the Rabbitohs, who had over 230 odd collective injuries more than the Tigers did. The Tigers have had a bit of a kerfuffle in their organisation in the off-season too. I don't think this is again the year for them to push anywhere close to the top 8, mate. I do see a pretty similar year happening for them to last year, where there'll be some shining moments. Tigers get the ball after a Roosters mistake, and that'll be a penalty to the Roosters. Roosters will actually get a penalty. Didn't have the ball and got tackled. So I know Tigers fans usually call me a Tigers hater for this, but I think you can understand where I'm coming from when I say it. Yes, Luke, I'll put a ladder prediction video out, not this Monday, but next Monday. It's always the first week of the season. It's going to be wrong, as we all know. Everyone is just having an educated guess on preseason tables, but no, I always do it the first week of the first games, and that's not this Monday, but next Monday. So Hiamasi Makasini will actually go and report for that tackle. Andrew says, I'm excited to see the Titans win the comp. Yeah, we all are, Andrew. So first tackle for the Roosters, Siwa Wong. 1 metre out. If they score a converted try, they will tie this game up, and they will score. The Roosters right on through. Oh, no, there's going to be potentially an obstruction here. Egan Butcher will score for the Roosters, but the referee's gone to the bunker. Big Tigers hater, Mitchell. Massive. 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 I actually like the Tigers. There's contact on the outside. This is probably going to be a no try here, lads. He does run straight into the defender, and that's where the gap opens up. Taylor Lasalu running at a hole. He's milked that for all money, but he's going to get the penalty. Oh, wow. Common sense from Casey Badger. You're kidding. You're kidding. Common sense from Casey Badger is crazy. Common sense from Casey Badger. You've seen it all, lads. You've seen it all. Casey Badger, with common sense, will say the Tigers player initiates the contact, so it's a try. I cannot believe it. I just cannot believe Casey Badger with some common sense. Warriors says Tosoviti. Yeah, Tosoviti. Actually, when did the Fiji and Drew play? They play soon enough. Like, that's a no try every day of the week in previous years, by the way. Oh, well, Fiji and Drew don't play today. They play next week. Yikes, that's not a good start. Yikes. We're in for a big year of Casey's using common sense. Well, Tigers fans would get pissed off there because every day of the week in previous years, that would have been a penalty to the Tigers. 100% no try and 100% penalty, but like the Tigers player does milk it for all money and does initiate the contact, which is what she's called there. It's common sense, but it's like Tigers fans will feel a bit of grievance. Like Lasalo goes through, but again, every day of the week, that's a penalty in previous years. Souths are named the B squad. I wouldn't even call that Benny. Dragons win by 13 plus. Yeah, I'd say Dragons win 13 plus, and it's disappointing from Souths because you would like to see them care a bit more about the Charity Shield, which has been a fixture in the preseason for a very long time now. That should have a lot more respect than what South seem to be showing it there. They don't seem to be showing that much respect at all. And it's a penalty to the Roosters. So 22-22, they do get the kick. And a penalty to the Roosters. He doesn't initiate contact. I disagree. I think he does. But they definitely should award that for flopping. I do think that he initiates contact there. But with that being said, that's still called a no try every day of the week in previous years. So 4 penalties to the Roosters, 2 penalties to the Tigers. Second tackle here at the 45. Okay, at the gong there for that Dragons Rabbitohs game as well. Third tackle here for the Chooks. Benai Uelu off to Taylor Lasalu. Fourth tackle at 35. Remember, guys, there is no extra time in preseason. If it is a draw, it is a draw. Goes to ground. Can the Roosters pick it up? They do. And Tom Rodwell brings it to the 25 on fifth tackle. Yeah, I wouldn't even say it's a South B squad, mate. I'd say that's a C-D kind of deal. A B squad is still some of their stars. That's a knock on from the Roosters. So Tigers bring it out to the 15 on 0 tackle. Yeah, you'd still need a couple of ins of the big players to make it a B team. So let's have a look at the stats here to see if the bonus points are looking good for both these teams. So 4 tries apiece. Both teams need 1 try to get a bonus point each. Line breaks, Roosters obviously had that bonus point. Tigers need 1 more line break for a bonus point. And then offloads, 6 for the Tigers, 3 for the Roosters. So the Roosters don't look good for that. They need 7 more offloads. The Tigers need 4. 4 is doable. Well, I don't know if the Roosters are going to get the full offloads on paper. Tigers are away. Tigers are taking about the 45. Fifth tackle. Mitchell says South Sea squad have basically played for the last 2 years. Yeah, it's just, yeah, true. It's just so sad, though, that they've decided to play such a weak team in what is usually the primetime game of the preseason. Oh, I think that's a knock on for the Roosters here. Yeah, knock on Roosters. Tigers are going to get an attack opportunity. I need another Coke Zero. That's what I need. That's what I need. Yeah, it goes up for their Junior Tupou and just knocks the ball on. Latrell Seawolt is who they have, Benny. I know who that is. He's been there or thereabouts last year and recent years. I wonder what South fans think. Well, of course they're going to defend the club, just like you defend Parramatta. The Tigers now at the 15. And they must score here. They do. The Tigers get over the line. The Tigers get over the line. They take back the lead, 26-22. Try time for Logan Daninga. Logan Daninga with the try time. Well, they've just said in the commentary Logan Brox or something like that, but on NRL.com it's got Logan Daninga. I don't know. The commentary's just given us a completely different name. Like, they've just said Logan, but in regards to the NRL.com, it's got Daninga. Or Daninga. I guess it gives young boys a time to shine. Sure, but the Dragons are playing a full-strength team because they had the benefit of playing last week. But it's a Charity Shield match. This actually has more to play than just a preseason game in regards to historically speaking. So I don't like it. But then again, I guess they want to just use their young boys in an early match. But that could be an easy game like last night. Cowboys played a full-strength team against the Panthers reserve grade squad, won 66-18. So it was kind of a pointless Charity Shield match because that should be the case in this game too. Matt Duffy might have the greatest individual performance of all time tonight. Might be the greatest player ever, Matt Duffy. Ever. So Jock Matting to convert it. He's 3 from 4 today. Conversion takes it to 6 points the difference. Still 2 games to go after this. Usually 3 games wrecks me in a day, let alone the fact that we're doing 5 games today. Melissa says, I think my Tigers are going to surprise you this year. Either way, at least we're improving each year. So, Melissa, sure, I'm not going to say that that's completely incorrect, but also, why are the Tigers, without using other teams as an example, why are the Tigers going to impress me this year? Because from my perspective, right, from a neutral perspective, outside of the club, I look at it and say, well, they had about 50 collective injuries across the club last year, so not many at all. The least amount of injuries across all 17 teams, and by a good like 20 or 30 on the second worst, right? So they have the least amount of injuries. And then you've got the Rabbitohs, who had about 230 more collective injuries than what the Tigers had in 2025, right? So Rabbitohs 230 more with the highest amount of injuries, the Tigers here. They finished equal on the ladder last year. They finished equal on the ladder with the Rabbitohs. In the bottom 4, they came 5th last rather than 4th last. So that's not really a positive for mine, especially when even all those teams below them also had a lot more collective games injured. Like the Titans, who came second last, had about 60 or 70 more collective injuries than what the Tigers did and whatnot. So it doesn't give you a whole bunch of confidence that the Tigers had their pretty much full-strength team on paper for the entire year, minus a couple games here and there. They had a pretty healthy team all year long and still managed 5th last. Now, they've still got question marks in regards to the halves, even though they do have some positive signs there, but they do have question marks in regards to the halves. Their backline still leaks points. Their forwards are okay. They are solid, but they're okay. And they just don't feel like they have that composure and that experience still. But, maybe next year, maybe going into the future, sure. But from an outsider's perspective, I don't see the improvement based on the fact that last year they had that full-strength team for the most part of the year compared to everybody else, and yet still finished equal 4th last, and only like 2 or 3 wins above last place, mind you. Now we go to 2025 on the table. We go to 2025 on the table. Let's see how many wins they finished above. So Tigers had 9 wins. The Knights had 6 wins. The Titans had 6 wins. The Dragons with 8 wins, and then the Rabbitohs with 9 wins, and the Tigers with 9 wins. And they did finish below the Cowboys there with those 9 wins, but they had the draw. Their points differential was worse to the Cowboys just. But where do you see this significant rise come from? Because you can't really say that the Tigers are improving every year right now, because they won 3 wooden spoons in a row and then have won to get to 5th last year, right? So that's 1 year. It's not every year. We've only seen 1 year of them improve from that 3 wooden spoon team. If they go and do it this year, fantastic. I'll probably back them in for the top 8 if they can go and prove me wrong this year and actually put themselves into a competitive stead and improve from what they saw last year. But if not, then I can't do that at all. But if they go and finish in 9, 10 or 11 kind of deal, Tigers taken down at the 5. Wait, fit tackle. They go quickly. Jock Madden over cross. Try time for the Tigers under the post. Try time for the Tigers under the post. And it's Charlie Murray. Had a great offload before for the try, and he will get a try himself. So he's had a good game, Charlie Murray, today. He's had a good game. It's going to be 32-22 with the kit to come. So I'll say this. If the Tigers finish anywhere from 12th to 9th, I may tip you for the 8 in 2027. But I don't see you doing it. I'll be honest. I don't. I think that there's a chance of maybe 12th. There's a chance of maybe 11th. But I think you understand where I'm coming from. It's not out of hate because I want to see you guys improve, but I just don't have that belief just yet. Benji Marshall hasn't proven necessarily that he's the coach for the job either. But I know Tigers fans will get around him because he's he's a club legend and an ex-player. And they want him to succeed. But from an outsider's perspective, I can't see that improvement right now. And I hope you're not using this game as an example, because this is a game between 2 reserve grade squads. So do you understand where I'm coming from? You can still have that faith and belief that I'm wrong, and please go prove me wrong, but do you understand where I'm coming from with my thought process in regards to the Tigers? Mason Stuffy, 3 tries off Kyle Flanagan. Dorado says, this is why don't bet on head-to-head in trials. All the underdogs giving it a crack. Exactly right. People who just put Tigers in the 8 are only due to the fact they like them and think, yeah, Luai will carry them to the top 8. Luai's actually been pretty underwhelming at the Tigers, if you really deep it. If you look at how he's performed, he's actually been disappointing, but at least they got away from last place. So Melissa, if you can tell me how I'm wrong there, I'm interested to hear it. Like your opinion is fine. You're allowed to support your team well and truly, but of course I'm going to say that. So 18 minutes to go to the game. Thumbs up and subscribe. Jock Madden will come off the field here with 12 points better the difference. The Tigers were one of only 3 teams who scored fewer than 20 points a game last season. Guys. 18 minutes left here. So second half tries, 4 for the Tigers, 1 for the Roosters. Tigers fans, I don't think the Tigers fans have us in the 8. A lot do, bro. But also the team doesn't need to be carried in order to make the 8. In order to make the 8, everyone needs to play up a level. I'll agree with that part, but unfortunately I would disagree with you, Tigers fan, the first part, because I do find that a lot of people do. We even had someone come here the other day and say Tigers top 4, and I said, you're off your rocker, mate. You're off your rocker. Hat trick Big Mac 235 is his super coach must have. Oh, are you talking about Makasini? I don't really play super coach too much, mate, but I'd say that he's a good-ish shout. He's a good shout. I think you may as well. That seems really cheap to me. I think that seems really cheap, so you probably would go with Makasini as a bit of a throwaway, maybe. Glenn says, I think the West Tigers got this game. Thank you, Glenn. There's still 17 minutes to go here. It's only a 12-point game, but they are up by 12. Melissa says, fair call, but I do feel they were working more like a team, and maybe it's just not getting a wooden spoon last year. As a fan, it's hard to have some confidence and hope. Melissa, I'm a Titans fan. I know all about how it's a struggle to have hope and belief and whatnot. That's why I'm just kind of forcing myself back into a positive mindset and just saying we're going to go undefeated this year at the Gold Coast because we haven't lost a game yet. But I know all about how it feels to be a Tigers fan. Titans and Tigers, we get each other like this. And it's weird that we, for some reason, just beat the Tigers. We just always seem to beat them. But I get it, but from an outsider's perspective, and I'd say a very similar thing in regards to the Titans, but just with the Titans, they've got a lot more things that could go right now than what the Tigers do, but the Tigers have more things that have gone right now than the Titans do, if you understand what I'm saying there. So the Tigers, they're 10 metres away. They're both in very similar positions overall. It's just the Titans are at the start of their new fresh direction, whilst the Tigers are a couple of years into it. Tigers now knock on, and the Roosters will grab the ball at 10. First tackle. 0 tackle. Mitchell says, Tigers in the top 4, that'll do me. We had a comment the other day about that, yeah. Tigers fans, I do agree with Luai when he says that they can play finals if they're consistent. I just don't think we can be with how our organisation and all the uncertainty. Okay, well, if for anyone who believes here on the chat that they believe the Tigers can make the top 8 and will make the top 8, I'm not saying you are, I'm just saying in general. Anyone who thinks they make the top 8 this year, I want you to name me right now 9 teams. Don't give me a half-cast one. Give me 9 teams that you're better than. And it's a 4 pass on the Roosters. So the Tigers will get the ball at the 40. Best Sports says trials don't count unless the Titans win. Trials are the most important thing ever. Mr. Best Sports winner. The Titans might go undefeated for the rest of eternity. And it's really unfortunate that you don't believe in us, Best Sport, but you're going to realise, why don't you go and get your latte, and why don't you go put your almond milk in it, why don't you go get your caramel twist, and why don't you go grow up and start realising the Titans are going to win the comp? You know, you got to start thinking these things, Best Sport 2.0. Get your little caramel twist almond latte and pop off. Because the Titans are going to go undefeated. Tigers here, 20-15-10. Try time for the Tigers. They will score. And the Roosters are getting a little bit of a slap up here. Kit Laulaliti will score. 38-22 the kick to come. Hey, by the way, could we see 2 teams get evicted from the premiership race right now? Tigers are 12 points away from hitting the 50 bomb. Okay, B says, making good comparison, but Tigers will improve and definitely make the top 8. Well, then tell me 9 teams they're better than. Tell me 9 teams that you genuinely believe are better than. I already know that you're going to give me 3 obvious teams, and you're going to say the Titans, and you're going to say the Knights, and you're probably going to say... Shit, there's another team you're probably going to say. Maybe, like, the Dragons from last year come third last, or Cowboys. I know those obvious ones, but there's no way that you could name me the other 9 teams. I don't believe it. But prove me wrong. And then even when you do say it, that doesn't mean that you're right or I'm right. Of course, we've got to wait for the season. We're all just making educated guesses here, but I don't see it. I don't see a world that happens. I'm not saying the Tigers can't improve, but I don't see a world they make the top 8. I don't see a world. Don't know what's worse, this comeback let in or Dolph. You're getting timed out for 10 minutes. You're getting timed out for 10 minutes. You're getting timed out for 10 minutes, Logan Ball Sacks, and you know it. And you're lucky to be back. Actually, no, we'll just see you on the next stream, mate. We're just going to see you on the next stream. 13 minutes to go here of the game. Oh, wow. That is one of the worst kicks you're ever going to see in history, dude. He just missed that from right in front by the length of Flemington straight. That was awful. William Craig just missed that kick. Awful. Kit Lauliti, that was a really strong run, 38-22. Fantastic kick. Kieran Foran move aside. Kieran Foran's the GOAT, mate. Because I want to really reiterate this to Tigers fans as well. The positive feeling you have about your club, I promise you, every other club in the comp thinks the same way about their club. So it's not... I know you feel like it's all Tigers and they're coming up, and I back you. You're able to do that. I want you to do that. I need you to have faith in your team, right? Let us neutral perspectives and let us everybody, all the haters and whatnot online, have a negative opinion and prove them wrong. So you're entitled to believe in your club. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But every single club believes the same thing that you do. As a Titans fan, we feel positive, right? And you're going to hate on that. As a Tigers fan, you feel positive. And there's going to be other people who hate on that. A lot of people who hate on that. You know, Knights fans feel positive behind what Dylan Brown could bring alongside Sandon Smith, right? And Justin Holbrook. Titans, Josh Hannay, and how they performed the other day with their young players. And there's a whole bunch of things going on at the club positively going future, right? Broncos feel positive. The Cowboys think that they just won a 66-18 game over the Panthers. They're going to be feeling positive that the Cowboys are going to get back to their attacking dominance and their defense is going to be a little bit better, even though there's nothing to prove that. The Warriors are going to feel like last year, after a top 8 surprise where everyone thought they'll be bottom 4, they've got into the top 8, that they're going to maintain with it. The Dragons are going to think that Daniel Atkinson's going to take them to the promised land with Shane Flanagan, who has won a premiership in 2016, and he's moved Kyle Flanagan into the 6. The Dragons are going to be positive. There is every single team in the competition that is going to have the same positive mindset. So please don't think that it's just you guys with this positive mindset, and that's the difference, and that's the thing why it's very difficult making these at 7-tackle set here for the Tigers. It's very difficult making preseason predictions because everybody does have that opportunity to be that random team that pops off out of nowhere. But there's nothing right now that's telling me the Tigers are going to be a top 8 team. If they do it, that's unbelievable. But there's nothing right now statistically that would prove that, with their attack not being fantastic in 2025, their defense definitely not being fantastic in 2025. Their last game, they lost to the Titans, who were last at the time and came second last at the end of the season because the Knights were that bad and got flogged by the Parramatta Eels in the last game of the season. But this is a good preseason game, but there's nobody playing in this preseason game. You're not seeing Jerome Luai, you're not seeing Dream Buller, you're not seeing Api Kotowai, and the same thing goes for the Roosters. You're not seeing James Tedesco, you're not seeing Nwanga Netawase, you're not seeing Sam Walker, Cherry Evans, Angus Crichton, Lindsay Collins, all these kind of guys. So that's why these preseason games are just hit-outs. So have that positivity, but also understand kind of that this isn't coming from a hatred perspective, this is coming from a thought perspective from when we're watching all the games. And Tigers, I think he's going to knock on. He's claiming this, though. He's claiming this as a try. This is actually be a really nice try. Oh, they've called it a try here on the sidelines. 42-22 with the kid to come. He's claiming this here. I thought he dropped this ball. It's Falatino Tavana here with the Tigers, who may have just scored. I thought he dropped his ball, but you usually do back in the winger in a position like this. EJ Adventure says the Roosters are done. If they concede 50, I'm doing a 50. They can't win the comp post. On Instagram. So go follow us on BKRsport if you guys aren't on Instagram already. He goes up for it. This is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. Foot in the air, foot in the air, foot in the air. Oh, it's an amazing try, bro. That is an amazing try. That is incredible from Tavana. That's the try of the preseason. That is the try of the preseason. The multi-match is tomorrow, Mickey Balloons. So if you're waiting for the multi-match tonight, you're going to be disappointed because that game's on tomorrow. Multi versus Indigenous. That is an incredible try from Tavana. Wow. Look at that. Elevated, literally horizontal, and he's put that ball down before coming down with confidence, and he was comfortable about it too. That was a really nice try. 9 minutes to go here, guys. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you're new around here. That is a really spectacular try. Melissa says, okay, so maybe not top 8. Don't let me change your mind. You back your team in. I am going to sit here as a neutral perspective and give my opinion. But as a Tigers fan, backing your team, just have high hopes, lesser expectations is what I would say. But high hopes that you can make top 8. Tigers from the sideline will miss the kicks at 42-22 with 8 minutes to go. Flanagan needs to bring his... No, we're not going down that path. George says, go the mighty Tigers. Yeah, well, they're looking like a pretty good win here today. Gary says, g'day everyone, just woken up. How is everyone today, Blaze? Always a pleasure. Get around your Gaz. We've seen the Manly Seagulls get a win earlier on against the Wars. Despite having a completely inexperienced team out there, but Joey Walsh was fantastic, and we know he's a good player. And the Warriors had a bit more of a strengthy team, but still had a lot of players out. And then you've seen this game here with the Tigers. They were down 16-0, brought it back to 22-16, leading, and then Roosters scored again and tied at 22-22, and then now the Tigers have gone on with it and are up 42-22, and they will get the bonus point for tries. They will also get the bonus point for line breaks, and they will also get the bonus point for offloads, so the Tigers will get the full 15 points on the bonus points. Yeah, they'll get a full 3 bonus points. And there's a chance of a 50 bomb as well. Heath Mason to the 40 will be third tackle. Sonny Munson says, go the Chooks. Yeah, don't get too worried about this game here, mate. Don't get too worried about it. At the end of the day, your more experienced players that aren't still your first grade squad, but your more experienced players came in the first 30, 40 minutes of this game where you were up 16-0. Roosters not in the best form. Hey, guys, this is a preseason game. There is no James Tedesco. There is no Nwanga Tawase. There is no Daniel Tupou. There is no Jerry Evans. There is no Sam Walker. There is no Lindsay Collins. There is no Connor Watson. There is no Reece Robson. There is no Angus Crichton. There is no anybody. Roosters not in the best form. It's a preseason. 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 Don't focus on the result of the game. Focus on the individual players. Makasini has been really, really good today for the Tigers. He's been a good individual player that should have a big year for the Tigers. Another one who's had a good game for the Tigers is Charlie Murray. He was fantastic. Don't focus on the result of the game. Hold on. Roosters at the 25. And they will be now 18 minutes out from the line fit tackle. Don't forget, about 15 minutes, 20 minutes after this game finishes, we will be live as the Knights take on the Bulldogs, at least with 2 relatively full-strength teams. Oh, knock on Roosters. That's actually because of the pressure from the winger there. Mitchell says, don't listen to him. We all know preseason means everything. Well, as a Titans fan, Mitchell, yes, you're right. Preseason means absolutely everything, and the Titans are never losing a game ever again. Of course. Mitchell, come on. Paul says, as a Parramatta fan, we have learned to temper expectations, but you still need to be positive about your side that you support. 100%. I'm saying that. That's what I'm saying, Melissa. Like, please, keep supporting your team. Back in your team for a top 8, but just lower the expectations in regards to them getting the top 8. But be hopeful and just hope that you're on the right end of of the 50-50 that they improve or they don't improve. It is, at the end of the day, 50-50 in that regards. Good job, Tigers. Storm are positive because they're going to court for Lomax. I don't know how positive they'd be with the Storm CEO having his text message to Andrew Abdo leaked with him saying, put the blowtorch to Parramatta. That is such a dog shit message from the Storm CEO. It is typical Storm, but it is so typical Melbourne. Just expecting everything to be given to them on a platter. It's like the Lomax situation, there's nobody who could support Lomax and what the Storm have done. Plus, yeah, no, I wasn't saying about what you were saying. No, I know. I was just reinforcing. When we're talking here, there are a lot of people listening, right? So when I reply to that, I use what I'm saying as well to either back that up or to provide further context. So the Roosters will now get this ball to the 45. Roosters not in their best form. It's hilarious. It's a pre-season. Oh yeah, because the Roosters have always taken real care factor into the pre-season. The Roosters are infamous for starting so slow and looking so shit at the start of the season and then pumping home like a train. That's how the Roosters are known. The preseason is not even a 0 care factor for them. The beginning of the season is probably about a 10 care factor for them. The end of the season is a 100 care factor for them. They work into the year. So second tackle, 3:50 to go here of the game. Tigers. Talk about the cricket and what, Gary, we go down a bad path if we talk cricket on these rugby league streams. We've already told all the cricket followers, wait for the cricket streams. We talk about cricket because we're doing rugby league here. So talk to me about cricket and whatnot on the New Zealand versus South Africa cricket game later on tonight, which we will be streaming. But when we're on the rugby league, we definitely do focus on the rugby league. Tigers now, fit tackle, they're going to be 30. But we'll be live for New Zealand versus South Africa in a big game of the T20 World Cup. Later on tonight. But if you want to give me slander, well, there's plenty of slander that can go towards England anyway. That will be a good catch there from the Roosters. 10 metres away. 3 minutes left here. Don't think we're going to see the Fetty Bomb. Don't think we'll see the Fetty Bomb. But good result here for the Tigers regardless. Flanagan needs to... No, I've already read that comment and already said I'm not going to read the rest of that comment. Ow! That's a massive hit. And that's a high tackle. The second one I thought was a high tackle, but the first one was a big old hit. Taylor Lasalu, he's a big boy. He's going to break through. He'll get the offload away. They'll be 45 metres out from the line for tackle. Their own line. Toby Rodwell, they go quickly out to the left. Can they get another try? Roosters quick passing. They're away. They're away to 30, the 25, the 20, the 15. He kicks it over the top for himself. Arguably he's been hampered, but he's still going to score a try. Good try there from number 15 from the Sydney Roosters, which is Jackson Stewart. Jackson Stewart. He was the fullback in the SG Bull Premiership win for the Roosters last year, and he will score there. Jackson Stewart puts it over, and it's 42-26 with the kick to come. Two minutes left. Gee, someone's getting angry in the crowd. Are you seriously this upset about preseason? Are you shitting me? Someone's swearing like crazy in the crowd right now. I just heard him. What a great stadium this is. Should have men's origin there. You're lucky you don't get timed out for that with the Larkin. Michael Webb says, bro, what's your favourite sports league? Can I get like a top 5? You're not going to get a top 5, but in regards to my favourite team, I am a Titans fan. That's what I'll give you. I just love sport, mate. I'm not here to compete sports. I love cricket. I love rugby league. I love football. I love baseball. I love NFL. I love hockey. I love basketball. I love AFL. I love literally everything, mate. Rugby union, you name it. I love it all. So, no, I'm not here to compete sports. A lot of people will try to compete sports like AFL and NRL. I love both my AFL and NRL. I love it all, mate. Every single big league I have a team in, I will have my kind of lesser care factors for specific teams, but it's based on where I am in the world. Like, if I'm in America, I'm always going to care so much more about the Chicago Cubbies and my Chicago Bulls and whatnot. It's going to be so much more focused on because I'm in America, right? When I'm in Australia and in Asia and whatnot, obviously you do get more so of this the rugby league and the cricket. If I was in Europe, I'd be really focusing more so the heaviest behind like football and whatnot. But obviously, we're still streaming live for all the rugby league. But just outside of the pure content for the games that I'm watching the most and caring about the most, 80s lawn bowls should be number one. Mitchell, I'm really loving Betty in the lawn bowls down there at Engadine in Nicronulla. Yeah, the Engadine Bowls Club. Betty is my favourite. She's going to be on fire. So, minute 20 to go here at the game. Don't forget, in about 15 minutes' time, we will be live as the Bulldogs will take on the Knights at McDonald Jones Stadium here. And they're both pretty full strength, man. So, get excited for that one. That's why I'm here. That's why I asked. Thank you for answering. No, you're, of course, Microwave. Second tackle for the Roosters. If I could do more sports in the channel, I would, but I also need to have a life. I've also, got a life outside of this. So, although it doesn't seem like it today, I won't have a life today. I'm streaming live for about 14, 15 hours today. But for the most part, like, could you imagine if I was doing football, Premier League, and then I'd have the FA Cup games later on? That's the thing. You can't do it. You have to understand. Bassingthwaite out of the left, and there's another chance here for a try. Kicks the ball back on the inside, and this is going to be a... Oh, he's knocked it on. There's a knock on. Philippa clears Betty. You don't know what you're talking about. Philippa's not even in the top 15. Betty is number one on the lawn bowls rankings, top 100 around the world. Betty is ranked number one. And you're talking to me about Philippa? Philippa's not even in the top 20. She's 22nd. She's some hag. We don't even... Come on. Some hag in 22nd on the rankings. Better than Betty. You don't know what you're talking about. A Tigers fan? No, I'm a Gold Coast Titans fan, man. I am a Titans fan. And also, it's rugby league, not rugby. Rugby league. It's definitely a knock on here, unless they're saying that the Roosters player gets shoved, but he's going for the ball at the time. He has touched the ball, so it's going to be fine. Yeah, he touches it, so it's fine. It's fine. My first language is Spanish. You're fine, mate. So 17 seconds left. Tigers are going to get a win here, 42-26. They will get all the bonus points, baby. All the bonus points. They will get all the bonus points. Tom Rodwell crossed the 181. Yeah, Tom Rodwell scored, Seat Marike. Tom Rodwell scored. The try scorers have been Mukassini, three tries for the Tigers. Jared Haywood, Logan Deninga, Charlie Murray, Kitla Lali'i, and Falatino Tavana. And then for the Roosters, it was Fetalega Pauga, Tom Rodwell, Benai Uelu, Egan Butcher, and Jackson Stewart. But there we go, guys. That is the end of the game. And the Tigers get a big win, 42-26. It is preseason, so Tigers, you aren't winning the comp, and Roosters, you aren't coming last. But some good performances there. Big showing from Hiamasi and Mukassini for the Tigers. Big showing from a couple of the boys from the Tigers and from the Roosters. But we're going to jump off for now. We'll see you in about 10-15 minutes time for the next game, which is exactly right. Betty is the bee's knees, Nate. But we'll see you for the next game, which is the Knights versus the Bulldogs. I think that starts up live in 10-15 minutes time. So hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll see you very, very soon. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya.